Secret Service don't talk to people. What are you talking about? They don't though. They just stand there.
Today the candidates will help you decide your final decision on who will be president on Monday.
We would like for you to remember that this is just a school election. Mock elections. To help the government classes understand our political system, how a president gets elected.
So sit back, listen to these candidates' views on the issues and enjoy the rally.
Alright.
Don't tell me that's your job.
Alright, then I won't tell you.
Vice President,
I thought yours
Mr.
was slightly
President.
bigger.
I exchanged it.
Figures. Because your lens broke. Or the
Because it was a piece of shit.
focus, whatever, when it fell off the chair.
I don't want to record him.
That's the Republican Party candidate, Ms. Gaylor.
Good morning, students, staff, and administrators. As some of you know and don't know, I'm Kamil Gaylor.
Mr. Marcus Rutledge.
Check him out.
Oh, okay. Democratic Vice President.
A vote for Gaylor is a vote for the future.
Probably a bad vote and when?
I'm now let's take Johnny. Come here, Johnny, let's go dance.
I'm recording.
There's Mark.
You're gonna get a big old head right in the middle of it.
That's all I need.
Why the fuck do you have it up in the corner?
Willow Run Mock Presidential Election. Now we would like for everyone to please stand and join us in the national anthem.
Please be quiet so we can get started.
I gotta stand, man.
Don't hit it. Don't hit it up.
Come here.
Oh, say, a mock presidential election, and you are helping all of our government classes get a better understanding on how the presidential campaign process is to be.
So sit back, listen to each candidate's views on the issues, and enjoy the rally. Republican Political Party Vice President candidate, Mr. Preston.
The mock election, I'm James Preston, Vice Presidential Candidate for Bellard. We stand firm on our ideas and opinions. I'm sure all of you know of our problem with drugs. Every day on the radio, on TV, and in our newspapers, we find that more and more people are dying because of drugs. Indirectly or directly, drugs have or will affect your life. You may have been offered drugs, or maybe someone in your family has died due to drugs. Whatever the case, we cannot let drugs control our future. You may have heard or seen that the many TV and radio commercials that tell you to just say no to drugs. But saying no to a close friend or a person you look up to can be difficult if they're pushing drugs on you. We must not let drugs interfere with our lives, ever. We can stop this epidemic if we stand together and wipe drugs out of our schools, communities, and country. Stopping the pushers on the street won't solve our problem. It won't even delay it. Stopping drugs must occur at the source. If we install new immigration policies and strengthen our border patrols, we can begin to solve the drug problem. Cracking down on local manufacturing and lengthening prison sentences will contribute to keeping drugs off our streets. Solving our drug problem will not be easy, but it can be done with the right people setting us on the right track. I hope that you feel the Republican Party is the right choice. Remember, a vote for the Bellard Preston team is a vote for the future. Thank you.
And now for our Republican political party candidate, Ms.
Many of you have seen homeless children
get up and speak in front of all of you. So could you please not boo? If you want to yell for your candidate, you can do that, but please don't put anyone down. Thank you.
Democratic Political Party Vice President, Mr. Rutledge.
The Democratic Vice President candidate. My running mate is Bellard. When Pat and I first entered this campaign, all we kept hearing was about how we were just a joke and we were just doing it to get a good grade. But I'm here to tell you that we truly have a strong platform. We have done our homework on the issues. The issues of education, health care, AIDS, and the drug problem in America are some of our main concerns. I am going to speak to you briefly on America's drug problem. When I say drug problem, I mean more than just the drugs. I think that we have to educate our kids in America better. They would be able to see that drugs are not the only way out of their present situation. They'd be able to see that drugs is only a temporary escape. To destroy the drug cartels that are bringing the drugs into the country. Because we do not bring the drugs into our country, into our neighborhoods. Other people bring the drugs into our neighborhoods, and it's destroying America. We will put more money into teaching kids about the horrors of drug abuse. Drugs are destroying America's families. We will push for legislation to prosecute mothers who use drugs during their pregnancy. You know our country is in dire shape when 18% of all high school students smoke marijuana. 5% of America's high school students use cocaine. According to statistics, 3,304,000 people use cocaine on a constant basis. Drugs affect every aspect of American life. Drugs are affecting our economy as well. When employees use drugs, their work suffers. And when their work suffers, you have a product that is not a quality product. And in order for America to truly be the land of the free, home of the brave, we have to fight against the temptation of drugs and the money that it can bring. I am sure a lot of you out there know people who sell drugs. Or have sold drugs. Their time is limited. You can only last so long in the dope game before you get caught. I hope I have given you something to think about. But before I sit down, I would like to thank you all for your time. And I would like to encourage you to make sure on November 2nd that you vote, hopefully for Pat and myself. Thank you.
Again, we do please ask that you keep your personal comments to yourself. Now I would like to introduce to you the Democratic candidate for president, Mr. Bellard.
Good morning. My name is Bellard, and I am the Democratic candidate for president. Today, I'm going to speak to you about the issues that I feel are most important at this point in time in our country. These issues are education, AIDS, and health care. First, I'm going to speak about education. If I'm elected president, I would make national standards for education to assure the equality of education for all students. I would do this so that all American students get the best possible education to prepare them for the real world. I will make it possible for all high school graduates to be able to go on to college or receive job training, whichever the graduate chooses. I will put more federal funding into education so that all American students can move ahead of their counterparts in Japan and Europe. I would start programs that would encourage students to stay in school and to do the best they can possibly do. To me, education is the most important issue because someday the students of today will be running this country, and it is our job to give them the necessary tools to one day lead our country. AIDS is the next issue I'd like to talk about. At least 50,000 Americans die each year from AIDS. Most of the victims are between the ages of 20 and 40 years old. If I were elected president, I would put more money into AIDS research. I would do this by getting federal funding, as well as by giving tax breaks to companies that would donate a set amount of money per year. I would set up mandatory classes in schools that would discuss how AIDS is transmitted and how you can protect yourself against this deadly disease. I would also lobby to have condoms available in schools so that the condoms will be there when the students need them. I'm not telling the students to go out and have sex. What I'm telling them, what I'm trying to do is to make the condoms available so that they can protect themselves against AIDS. I would also make it possible for anyone diagnosed with HIV or AIDS to be able to get medication or the necessary medical care that they need to live as long as they possibly can. Now, I'd like to speak about health care. I feel that there are too many Americans getting sick or injured and not getting the proper health care they need because they don't have insurance. Since we live in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, I feel that every American is entitled to health care. I plan to set up a national health care system so that every American gets the proper care they need when they're sick. I would fund this by taking some of the money that we use to send to other countries and using that money to put my plan into effect. These are some of the crucial issues that we must address now. To get our country back on track, I will strive to restore hope in America. To do this, restoration of hope in America, we must do three things: love, sacrifice, and work. What I mean by love is that we must treat every person in America as our brother and our sister. We must do this because there is not a single one of us that is not important to the future of our country. Sacrifice means that the Americans that have already achieved success in this country have to give back to their communities to give other people a chance to achieve success. Work means that we must all give of ourselves and come together as a team so we can gain the status of the land of the opportunity. So remember, when casting your vote on Monday, November 2nd, to vote Democratic. Vote Patrick Bellard and Marcus Rulez. Vote for us is a vote for change and the renewal of hope in America. Thank you.
Political Party Vice President candidate, Mr. Ebeler.
Good morning, friends and fellow Americans. My name is Shawn Ebeler, and I am the presidential candidate of the Vice President Independent Party. That means that if I am elected, I will be for everyone, not like the Democrats who are for the Democrats, and not like the Republicans who are for the Republicans. I am for everyone. I'm going to discuss two issues, AIDS and the homeless. Most of us think we don't have to worry about catching the AIDS virus. Not. Anyone can catch the AIDS virus, even a superstar like Magic Johnson. More funding will be set aside for the testing of the AIDS virus. We will also promote mandatory sex education, including information pertaining to the dangers of sexually transmitted diseases. We will require all citizens who are HIV positive to inform their doctors, physicians, dentists, or other healthcare officials they come in contact with. Also, doctors will notify their patients. Each person diagnosed HIV positive must inform every sexual partner from their past of their condition. Quality care should be provided. A couple of ways to do that are to expand clinical trials for the treatments and vaccines and speed the FDA drug approval process. So maybe someday we can find a cure before it's too late. The second issue I'd like to discuss is the homeless problem in the U.S. The homeless rate in the U.S. has multiplied enormously over the past 15 years, and Washington doesn't seem to care. We as independents believe that there should be a different attitude towards the homeless. More shelters should be opened, and the federal government needs to make sure that money is reserved for this. This country needs to focus more on domestic affairs and less on foreign problems. Limit foreign aid until we solve our own problems here at home. If America cuts back on military defense and devotes some of our tax dollars to build up shelters and remodel abandoned buildings, then we can reduce the amount of homeless on the streets. Too many years have gone by without something being done to cure this problem. The people in Congress still refuse to make an effort to get rid of the homeless because the homeless can't vote. Because the reason the homeless can't vote is because they have nowhere to live. And the homeless that have jobs can't afford to pay rent because housing is too expensive. Whether America knows it or not, homeless are people too. They may be able to voice their own opinion, but if we can't back them up on spending the American dollar loosely, we can get the homeless off the streets and restore the constitutional rights. In conclusion, something will be done about these problems, and the most important thing we, the public, can do is get out and vote. Thank you very much.
And now for the independent for President, Ms. Bugs. Should be a main focus of our nation and government. We favor equal public school funding. Each school should receive the same amount of money for each student, regardless of how with friends and co-workers. And if we carpool more, we will use less gas and there will be less pollution. The less gas we use, the less we will depend on foreign oil. And we don't want to depend on Saddam Hussein for our gasoline. The tobacco tax money will be used to build homeless shelters, find cures for diseases, and lower the cost of health care. Next, I want to talk about health care. We believe in the total reform of the health care system, including a national health policy for all persons. Affordable health care is a right, not a privilege. This health care system will be especially for those who cannot afford health care right now. The federal government needs to put tougher controls on the health care costs. They need to make costs more affordable for everyone. Businesses should also provide better coverage for all employees. Hospitals, health centers, and schools should offer more health-related services, such as free counseling, free medical exams, and free birth control. As it is now, many people have no health insurance at all. So some of these people are lucky. They are not sick right now. So what happens if they get cancer tomorrow? How will they be able to afford the treatment? The government should offer incentives to insurance companies and hospitals to keep the cost of insurance down. If we reward them for offering affordable insurance, they will give us affordable insurance. Finally, I'm going to talk about the drug problem. The government is slacking off on its war against drugs. We hear a lot of talk, but we see no action. Just because the government has made a few successful drug busts, the people in Washington think they can sit back and do nothing else. They think the problem will go away by itself. The truth is, the government is not doing its jobs to keep drugs from reaching this country. Drug testing will be made mandatory for all people on parole and probation. The reasoning for this is a lot of drugs find their way to the streets through ex-convicts. Federal facilities located on military bases will be made available for rehabilitation purposes. Programs at these facilities will involve counseling and job placement as part of the treatment. These centers will be open for anyone who is willing to go, regardless of how much money you make. Today we have heard 3 distinctively different opinions on many issues. Just remember, I have been a dedicated citizen in this community. I have done a lot for you. I have shared the same problems personally with you. And how can someone that doesn't know you tell you what you need? I have been here many years, not a few months, not a few years. Thank you.